Good evening, everybody. I hope you are well. I hope you've had a good week and you're ready for your weekend. I certainly am. I've had a lovely day today, seeing all my little yogis who are going to start session next week, so that's really exciting. But to this evening, I feel very honoured. I am getting to read a friend's son's story. Now, she happened to mention that Noah had written this story and it was on a website, and would I go on and have a look and like the story? So I went on, had a read, loved it, pressed like and thought, why don't I read that? So I asked permission, of course, from my friend and from Noah himself. So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. The Long Lost Boy by Noah Richardson, Class 3B. One morning, James decided to jump out of bed and go for a walk. After walking for a few hours, he realised he was lost. Night fell and James began to panic. What if he never saw his family again? What if no one ever found him? He was cold and hungry, and there didn't seem to be anybody around. James decided he had to build himself a house. The only things he could use were sticks, rocks and leaves, because he was in the middle of the forest. Night and day fell, over and over again. James seemed to be getting older, but he had no idea how many years he'd been out in the wilderness. He felt like he was becoming one of the wild animals he had befriended. One evening, James heard a crunching sound, as though someone was walking over the leaves on the ground. "Hello," he called. "Who's there?" a voice responded. James stepped out of his man-made home and saw a tall man stood over him. "What is your name?" asked James. "Alex," replied the man. "I've been out here looking for a young boy named James. He's been missing for 5 years. His mother and father are distraught." That's me. I am James. Do you know how I can get home? I've been lost for so long. I've tried and tried to get home. You are the first human I've seen. Please help." "Come with me, James. I have someone who would love to see you." James and Alex went wandering through the forest, and then James noticed a familiar face. It was his mum. He ran to her and hugged her as tight as he could and said, "Mum, I have missed you so much. I am so sorry I went into the forest. I know you always told me it was dangerous. I promise never to do that again." James never ever entered the forest again. By Noah Richardson, Class 3B. There you go. Well done, Noah. A fabulous story. Now, everybody, if you pop onto my page at Mitch Tit Yoga, you will see a link there. And if you like that story, click on that link and press like. I'm sure Noah will really appreciate it. Now, just a little shout out for next week. The 24th, 26th, 28th, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll be reading a little serial. Couple of chapters a night from a book. Daniel's Dreams, Monster Mountain by Leanne Brown. I'm really looking forward to reading it. It's got lots of beautiful pictures, but it was a little longer than the stories that we normally read. So that's why I've decided to spread it over those couple of nights. Won't that be nice? To snuggle on down with the same story each night, listening to the next chapters to see what happens. Okay? So in the meantime, have a fabulous weekend. I do hope the rain lets up and gives us all a nice bit of sunshine. So snuggle on down. Have a nice night's sleep so you're all refreshed in the morning. And as usual, love you all to bits.